نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the staff of English section Talimul Quran course, I welcome you all here today. Alhamdulillah, as you all know, it's been about 2 years now that we've introduced this English section. Before this, our main Talimul Quran course was being run in Urdu. But now we've introduced this English section exclusively for the overseas students who are not familiar with the Urdu language. So they too have an opportunity to study the Quran and spread this light in their own respective countries. Alhamdulillah, as our course has come to an end today, and it's a very special occasion for the students here, therefore they would like to share their feelings at the end of the course with all of you here. Before I start the program, I would like to begin with a recitation of the Holy Quran. For that, I would like to invite Tanzila Majid to come here and recite a few verses of the Quran for us. Tanzila.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm going to recite some ayat from Surah Hamim As-Sajdah, ayah 30 to ayah 36. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور رحيم ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله إنه هو السميع العليم. صدق الله العظيم. The English translation of these ayat, Surah Hamim As-Sajdah, verse 30 to verse 36. Surely those who say, our Rabb is Allah, and then stay firm on it, the angels will descend on them at the time of their death, saying, let nothing fear or grieve you. Rejoice for the good news of paradise that has been promised to you. We are your protectors in this life and in the hereafter. There you shall find all that your souls desire and all that you can ask for. A hospitable gift from the All-Forgiving, the All-Merciful. Who is better in speech than the one who calls people towards Allah, does good deeds and says, I am a Muslim? Good deeds are not equal to the evil ones. Repel others' evil deeds with your good deeds. You will see that he with whom you had enmity will become your close friend. But none will attain this quality except those who patiently endure and none will attain this quality except those who are truly fortunate. If any time you are tempted by shaitan, then seek refuge with Allah. It is He who hears all and knows all.
Before I start calling the students to come here and share their feelings with us, we have a very special person over here among us. Her name is SADIA NAVEED. And very few people know this, that it was actually her efforts that resulted in the establishment of this English section of Ta'limul Quran. So SADIA NAVEED, can you please come here and share with the audience how did it all begin?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I don't think I deserve all what she said. But alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Rabbul Alameen, who gave us an opportunity to be here together at the end of this course. And officially, it is to be the second course, but a year back, from these 2 years, it started in a very unofficial, very sort of informal manner. It began with 2 students. One from Japan. She's sitting there. Mariam, will you please stand up? Mariam, please stand up. Thank you. And second student, Zainab from Turkey. She's sitting here. Now, the thing was that, of course, being foreigners, they didn't know Urdu. And the worst thing was that they didn't even know English very well. So in order to teach them, I had to say a concept more than once, sometimes twice and sometimes thrice. And both these diligent students, they would have a dictionary with them, a Japanese dictionary and a Turkish dictionary, and they would translate the word into their own language to understand. And there is more lesson for us that Zainab, she had to suffer twice from miscarriage, but she did not give up her effort. She continued with the course. And alhamdulillah, they both completed in a very successful manner. And it is the sunnah of Allah that whatever act is done with sincere intention, Allah puts His blessings in it. So next year, we had this course started officially, and we had around 7 students from abroad. And then a year later, we had, mashallah, alhamdulillah, 12 students sitting here. Congratulations to you all. But remember that this is only the beginning of your life. A new birth, rather. And it's the first step only. And don't think that you have done enough. There is a lot more to do. And it's very little that we have achieved. And you can add more to it only through spreading it. Remember, your knowledge is that wealth which does not finish by spreading. Rather, you keep on adding to it. And if you wish to keep this nur that you have in your hearts, to keep bright, and to get brighter, you have to keep yourself in touch with that pure oil. And what is that? The Wahi. Keep yourself attached with the Quran. Keep on giving energy to your faith, to your iman, and let it spread in your homes, around you, your society, and to the whole of this world. And alhamdulillah, I feel so proud that inshallah ta'ala you are going to be the best mothers of the world. Mothers who are themselves equipped with the knowledge of Islam, and you will be, inshallah, able to provide the same to your children. And inshallah, this gives us a hope that in future, we're going to have better generation, inshallah ta'ala. Bless you all. Take care of yourself and your iman. Thank you.
Now I would like to call first of our students, Doll Ali, to come here and express her feelings at the end of her course.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The only reason that I'm sharing my experience is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says فَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. So narrate the blessing of your Lord. It's the grace of Allah that He has changed my life, that He has given me this nur. That person that forget acting on deen, she didn't even know the kalama. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says أَفَمَنْ شَرْحَ اللَّهُ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ فَهُوَ عَلَى نُورٍ مِّن رَبِّهِ. Have you seen the one that He has opened the heart for Islam? And that was such me whom He opened the heart. Now everyone is composed of 2 things, body and soul. We all know that for body we need nourishment from the food. But as for soul, we need Quran for our nourishment. That's why the only thing that I felt after the Quran was it really gave me a new life. As being raised in a very corrupted society, one of the most advanced schools, I had very bad qualities in me. And they were quietly rooted in me. It really needed a struggle to take them out. And some of the examples were that as far for respect to teachers and parents were concerned, we had no respect. That was the thing that was taught. As for teachers, we used to sit, mock, curse. Some used to pray bad calamities. He was thinking that parents were not even given any respect. Teachers were like, okay, you're just paid off. That was the only thing. And as for the relationship between boys and girls, though they used to consider it bad, but they used to promote it. They used to have mixed gatherings, mixed classes. This was all what was promoted and taught in our schools. There was one good quality I remember in me, in my ignorance, was that I was known for my truthfulness. And the thing is that the same truthful person, when he told about Islam, he was neglected. He was called extremism. And this is the same thing that the kuffars did with Prophet ﷺ. When he told them about Islam, they said, you are a liar. Really, history repeats itself. After the Quran, it changed my views. The same thing that yesterday meant nothing had a big meaning to me. It taught me how to ponder over the creation, and it taught me good manners. One of my teachers one day, he raised a question that really shocked me. He said that we know all of us want to go to heaven. None of us wants to go to hell. But do you think the heaven that the people who strive and struggle till their death, like the Sahabas, do you think you can go there just relaxing? Well, in dunya, everyone knows you get what you strive. So in akhirah, we also get what we strive. In that, I would just like to say that it really molded my character and it taught me the good manners. And one thing, because Quran was revealed on Prophet's heart and was revealed to change the hearts. In the end, Allah is with the man the way He is with him. Jazakumullah khairan kaseera. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, now I would like to call Yasmin Khanzada to come here and express her feelings at the end of the course.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Yasmin Khanzada and I'm from Hong Kong. I would like to share with all of you that how this course brought a change in me. I was brought up in a very non-Islamic environment where I was just a Muslim by name, and all I knew was that God is one and we have to perform certain rituals as a must, and they were all like a burden to me. And I studied in a Christian missionary school where I have to take part in the daily prayers as well as in festivals like Christmas, Easter, etc. And it was in my nature that somehow I knew I was following the right religion. But because of being the only one Muslim in school, I always had an inferiority complex and I would hide my identity. I feel ashamed to be questioned about Islam because I don't know anything about it. Since my parents, they were too busy with their work, so I was a bit spoiled and I would spend most of my time with my Chinese friends. And they affected me so much that social evils, they were like very normal to me. Though, alhamdulillah, throughout my teenage life, Allah has protected me from all evil trends of the society. I would like to draw your attention to a fact that despite the prosperity in Hong Kong, the depression rate and the suicide rate, that's really high. And this thing, it affected me a lot. I used to see people's only purpose of life was to study, to earn, and to kill time. It was such an aimless life. And there was no one who could understand this feeling. So I became very negative, and I used to spend most of my time on the internet in order to put off some of my burden. But that's a deceptive and an unrealistic world. So I couldn't get anything from that. So I prayed to Allah as my last hope, and then finally my dua was quickly accepted. After my A-levels, I had a chance to come and do this course, and this course was like an eye-opener for me. And now I know that we humans are the best creation just because we have a purpose of life. We shouldn't live like animals who just eat and enjoy. I've gained the confidence to announce my faith openly to people now, and I'm proud to be a Muslim. Quran joined me with a group of friends with whom the friendship was away from any kind of social evils or selfish motives. I used to look down on Muslims, and because of the picture that Muslims wear nowadays, I never had a Muslim friend. But now I came to know that the good conduct of non-Muslims, which I was impressed by, is actually all found in Quran's teachings. Allah is no more someone who is high above and unapproachable now. The best way to develop a link with Allah is actually by du'as. And now I know that the thing I was lacking was the peace of heart which nothing but the Quran gave me. I'm really grateful to Allah for giving me this understanding of Deen. I was not worth it, but He chose me out of millions and billions of people. As Allah Himself says in the Quran, "Huwa khairum mimma yajmaun." It is better than all what the other people they are gathering. So, in order to show my gratitude practically to Allah, I would like to share these treasures of Quran with everyone, and to help out those who are in the distressed state, like I used to be, especially the teenagers of this time. What I learned in this 1 year is much, much more than what I've gained in all my past life. And I can for sure confirm the hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "May yuridillahu bihi khairan yufakkihu fi din." Whom Allah wishes good, He gives him the understanding of deen. So may Allah guide all of us to the straight path. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just a while ago, you heard SADIA NAVEED talk about her two very first students. Since both of them are here today, so I would like to take this opportunity to call one of them here and ask her to share her experiences with us. Zainab, could you please come here and talk to us? I would like to add that Zainab is also 9th month pregnant.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Actually, I don't know what to speak, but I just want to share love of Allah brought us today. Before 3 years we came here, and I had a big yearning to learn Quran. But for this I had to learn English first. I was looking for some course, but Allah sent me here. And subhanallah, everything was in Urdu. We couldn't understand anything. For sometimes we attended Urdu classes for 2 months, me and Japanese Maryam. We couldn't understand any word. But maybe Allah opened a way out for us. And alhamdulillah, Allah sent us a teacher, SADIA NAVEED. And we had for 1.5 years course with her. Contains 2 miscarriage, like 3 months gap. And alhamdulillah, during these times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had taught us a lot of things. First and biggest one was sabr. And I had nothing about sabr. In Turkey, I didn't know what is sabr actually. Allah taught us through some experience. And Islam, inshallah, when we turn our country, inshallah, at the end of the next month, we have a lot of plan for this. But if Allah create ease, just like here, we can do something. And we need a lot of dua for this. I just want to give thanks to all my teachers and friends who give courage to complete this course, because we had a lot of hardship during that course. But don't forget, if you have yearning something, Allah is creating a lot of ease for this. Before this last pregnancy, I was thinking maybe I cannot come out these days. But subhanallah, Allah had brought me this time, and now we are waiting any time. I want to give my all love you and dua. I need a lot of dua, and you need a lot of dua. We are just here for dua, our dua, calling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Tahira? to come here and share her feelings on completing her Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The time that I have spent studying the Quran has been absolutely amazing. I can only make a humble attempt to try to describe my feelings and experiences. Before reading the Quran, I thought I had everything and I was set for life. I had a great husband, I had a good job, I had a car, and so on and so forth. But the one thing I did not have was inner peace and satisfaction. This is the most important thing to have, because without this, you cannot enjoy life. So by reading the Quran, I have come to know what the purpose of life is, and most importantly, I got inner peace and satisfaction. Alhamdulillah. A few months before coming to Pakistan to do this course, I got divorced. At that time, I thought this was the worst thing that could ever happen. I was just distraught, but now I realize that it was probably the best thing in the world, because if I was still married, I would not be here to study the Quran. I have learned that everything happens for a reason. Everything is Allah's planning. So we should not despair when we go through any bad time or any hardship, or if we feel uptight inside, because we don't know what that situation is going to bring out. It's all Allah's planning. The knowledge of the Quran that I have now has only come with Allah's help. I did du'as to Allah to help me and guide me to what is best for me, and this ilm is what He gave me. I realized that I only had to take one step to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and look what He gave me. It's unimaginable. I find it so amazing how the Quran affects people in different ways. I used to wonder how one book can be applicable over 1400 years, to so many different people. I understand this now, because when I initially came to Pakistan to do the course, I did the Urdu course first. I did 15 paras, and then alhamdulillah I managed to do the English course as well. And in both experiences, the Quran has affected in so many different ways. I thought I was reading the ayahs for the first time when I did it the second time. This can only be a miracle of Allah, how this one book can change everybody in such a way. Everybody who reads it, it's like a whole new different personality. You don't recognize yourself from before. Since I come from Glasgow to study here, I had to stay in a hostel. This hostel experience has been invaluable. I have learned to live with so many different types of people in harmony. This harmony is all due to us having a common purpose, and this was to learn about our deen. I cannot imagine anywhere else where approximately 200 girls can live together in peace without fighting. I mean, in our homes we are like maybe 2-3 sisters. What happens every day? At the hostel, I have had the invaluable chance to lead the group discussions for the Islam English group. This has been a great source of revision for me, and I thoroughly recommend for anybody who wants to, alhamdulillah, you all do want to keep an attachment with the Quran, at least narrate the Quran to at least one person every single day. Okay? Because of this, I find it so much easier to explain some parts of the Quran with other parts. Because as I was explaining the earlier paras, the later on paras that I was doing, the later on ayahs, I was able to understand them better and able to express the beginning ayahs in a much more effective way. During this course, I have had the opportunity of meeting scholars, one of which was Dr. Farhat's teacher. I have learned so much from these people. I realized that I would never achieve this knowledge if I had been sitting at home. Even if I was sitting at home studying the Quran, perhaps doing it through cassettes, it would never ever be the same without the people around me in my class every day, without meeting my teachers, without meeting teachers of my teachers. You learn so much just through observation. I understand now from Zainab and Maryam how they first did the course for 2 months in the Urdu despite not knowing any Urdu. You just look at the reactions of people. You just look at how the teachers conduct themselves, and you learn so much from them. And this is something I would thoroughly recommend to everybody. Just because there's courses delivered in Urdu, please don't shy away and run away from them. Do sit there and do take what you can from the Quran. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
And now I would like to call Fatima Ahmed to come here and express her comments and views with us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Fatma Ahmed, and my family and I moved here from South Africa. Trials are something that come and go, but they have effects on us. And the past couple of years, I've been going through quite a lot, and I had some ups and downs in my life. Through these hardships, not having any previous knowledge of Islam, I got to the point where I was so confused, I started doubting my religion. I came to the point where I was about to convert to atheism, and I had no basic knowledge of Islam to stop me from doing that. So one day through all this, I was standing on the porch of my house, and I remember I looked at the sky and said, Allah, if you really exist, if you're out there, I need a sign. I need you to prove to me that you're out there and you exist. And the next morning, I woke up with this great urge to know about Islam. I thought, since you find everything on the internet, maybe I could find some information there. Then I started searching websites, and I got to know a lot more, which I didn't know existed, which I had no idea existed. And through this, I needed to know more, so my mom suggested that I come to the Reality Touch course to do the summer course, which helped me a lot. It was really an eye-opener for me. I was really surprised. I had everything prepared for me. I didn't have to go on the net and get, things which I had no idea who they were administered by. And from this, I needed to know even more. And then I found out from a teacher about the diploma course, which was the entire Quran. So I went through that, and now the point I stand today is something I cannot compare to where I was a year ago. And the feelings you get from studying the Quran in such thorough explanation is something that truly defies definition. It can't be put in words. The tranquility and the peace it brings to your heart. So the greatest lesson I learned from this is, since everybody out there, regardless of race, nationality, or religion, goes through trials, the most responsible thing of us to do is to get them this beautiful message of how to deal with their problems. Because Quran is true liberation and salvation, not only for the hereafter, but in this world too. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Now I'd like to call our last commenter, Rosanna Noor. Rosanna Noor, can you please come here and share with us your feelings on completing your Quran?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I just want to start with a little bit of my background, where I came from. I'm originally from Bangladesh, but I was born and brought up in England. As you know, I was born into a Muslim family, and from a young age I had a very, very strong feeling that Allah was there. It was a fitrah belief, and unfortunately though, my iman wasn't backed up with any knowledge of any kind about Islam. I didn't know why I was doing the rituals, and I used to miss them, and I did, like Yasmin, I did find it a little bit of a burden myself. So what happened was, as you know, it was in the West, it was in Bristol, and once I entered university, I was bombarded with all these different ideologies. There were people going in all different directions, mostly in the wrong direction, and that's when cracks started appearing in my iman. Because I didn't have knowledge, I didn't know what was necessarily, although I felt what was wrong, the masses were going in one direction, and I just felt so pushed. I couldn't hold myself, I had no anchor. So I was pushed along, and I was forced to compromise along with many, many other Muslims who didn't have knowledge like me. We were forced to compromise some of our strong principles that we had when we were at home. Unfortunately, we compromised them to go along with the trend of the crowd. So as I continued with doing all these things, just being in the wrong environment and so on, I felt that bond that I once had with Allah, it was weakening, and I couldn't feel Him near me anymore. And that sense of tranquility that I found before, I was losing it completely, and I was very, very disturbed at that fact. So I prayed to Allah really, really hard that, Allah, just get me out of this. Whatever happens, just get me out, because I don't have the power to get myself out. I was in a downhill struggle, and I just felt that I was being too pushed, and I didn't have the strength. So alhamdulillah, Allah answered my dua through the form of a very serious back injury that I had. And it left me immobile, literally bedridden for over 4 months. And this was a very, very big trial for me. because I was a very active person. This was the first time that I took time out by myself. I couldn't stand any noise because of the strong medication that I was put on. I was asleep over 20 hours of the day, only awake for 4 to 5 hours, and at that point I was despairing a lot. And I just thought, when will this pain end? It was a continuous pain. And I prayed to Allah, I cried out, Allah, why are you giving me this azab? And alhamdulillah, at that point, in the lowest point, I just needed some answers. I was desperate, and I picked up a translation of the Quran, and I started reading it from random pages. And alhamdulillah, through some great miracle, I was finding that each and every answer that I was looking for, I seemed to fall upon. It just answered my question, and it just gave me, it's ironic that at the point of the most physical hardship that I was going through, at that point I got the most inner peace through the Quran. And this was an experience that I felt that I tasted the sweetness of Iman for the first time, and I wanted it so badly. I wanted to hold on to it so badly. So at that point I made an intention to myself that, Allah, I'm not going to let go of this, because I don't want to go back to my jahiliyyah. I don't want to go back to that restlessness that I had before. And it was like the worst, it was the worst azab to have that restlessness. Not being content within yourself, not knowing what direction you're going to, not knowing why you're getting up in the morning. There's no purpose in life, and I didn't want to go back to that darkness. So what I did is I made an intention that inshallah I would devote some time to studying the Quran. And I searched all over the internet. In the UK, unfortunately, my Arabic level wasn't very high. So most of the institutions who were teaching Quran in Arabic, you needed a very, very high level of Arabic to access those courses. And unfortunately, I looked all over the internet, Syria, Damascus, all these places, but I couldn't have access to them. So I kept praying to Allah that, Allah, please sort something out, because I need this ilm, and if I don't get it soon, I will fall again. And I won't be able to come out of it this time. So alhamdulillah, through some circumstances, my family and I moved to Bangladesh last year. And there I came across a reality touch course by Al-Huda, offered by Al-Huda. And alhamdulillah, through that I was so inspired by the representatives of Al-Huda. I just saw the nur just permeating from their faces, from their bodies, and I knew that this was the answer to my dua. So I just took the plunge. No matter what happened, I left everybody behind. I used the most wisdom that I've used ever in my life to try and convince my family that, this is only 1 year and it's going to be good for me. So alhamdulillah, I came here. What I got is, I can't even express it. I'm not doing justice to what I've gained in this 1 year. I don't know how many people there are in this world who can open up the Quran and who knows exactly what that ayah is saying, what Allah is communicating to us. I don't know how many Muslims in the Ummah have that knowledge. And I feel like Allah has done so much for me. I am so overwhelmed. I just don't know how to express this feeling. And inshallah, the people who are here coming to start the course, inshallah, you will feel it too. It's beyond expression. And what I've gained, alhamdulillah, the confusion that I was going through, the restlessness, the darkness that I had in my heart, alhamdulillah, that has been dispelled. I carried these doubts for so long. It was such a torturous journey, but I'm so glad that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with this ilm. And I want to seriously, I've made an intention, inshallah, I'll be going to New York soon after the course. And I want to convey this message. Whatever I've learned here, I just want to convey whatever I've learned here to the people over there, because I understand what they're going through, because I was once there. I understand the confusion and the doubts and superiority, inferiority complexes that they're suffering from. And inshallah, I've made the intention to do this to the people of New York, but as well as that to the people of Bangladesh as well. Because for the time that I was there for 1 year before I came to Al-Huda, and I realized that there is severe lack of knowledge over there as well. To my distress, because obviously it's a Muslim country, yet there is no such institution over there. And I would like to, inshallah, start something up over there in the future. And may Allah bless all of us. All of us have learnt. Allah has given us such a precious gift this 1 year. And inshallah, May Allah give us the tawfiq to carry this message through to every single corner of the world that is in darkness, and to light it up with the nur of the Quran, inshallah. So, Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I would like Ustazah to please come and speak to you all.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Congratulations to all of you and your teachers and your helpers and everybody in the premises. May Allah bless you all. I hope today is a big day for you, isn't it? Like an Eid day. I always feel like an Eid. And I always remember that ayah, قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. What does it mean? Now you know the meaning of the ayah. That is the only place in the Quran which says فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا. The only word فَلْيَفْرَحُوا is on this occasion. So today is Alhamdulillah, great day for you. And I hope inshallah this ni'mah of Quran and this blessing will be all the time with you in this world, in your grave, and inshallah in the hereafter. On the day of judgment, may Allah put you under the shadow of Quran, and may you be raised among the people of Quran. Because people of Quran are the special people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I would like to ask you, what's your goal in life now? What's your goal? Can you tell me in one sentence? Any one of you? Tahra. Inshallah. You see, we were in Canada last month, and there was a class with young girls, and I didn't meet but my daughters. They met a person there. His name is Steve Rockwell. He was a priest. He studied Christianity and other religions for 7 years, and he was a trained priest, and alhamdulillah he converted to or reverted towards Islam. Now he's known in Toronto, the richest person in the city, but no one knows that he is the great da'iyah, or to call it towards Islam. So that person, he says that my aim in life is that I want to see Canada one day a Muslim country, and I want to bring people of Canada towards Islam, and inshallah this is my aim in life. So I think you all must have an aim in life, and you must always remember that aim, and you shouldn't forget that thing. This is a special day for you, and you can have a secret promise with your Lord, not with anybody else, but with your Lord, inshallah. And you should have a niyyah. Just make a niyyah. And if this niyyah is there in a practical way, then it's well and good, or otherwise you will get reward for that niyyah, Inshallahul Aziz. So, any question, anything? It's really nice to see you all. I'm just coming from Karachi, right from airport, and alhamdulillah I got the chance to join you on this day of happiness with you, to share this feeling with you. So what about your relatives or your friends, or do they know all that you are going to finish Quran today? They know? Alhamdulillah. So how are you, Zainab? Alhamdulillah. You remember your day? Would you like to say something to them? I'm really happy to see you in this condition.
Jazakallah khairan kasiran. Actually, I just remember I want to share with you one of my experience. It was my second miscarriage, and I was in hospital, and second time going through all these pains and losing second baby. At the beginning it depressed me more because I was blaming myself. I was thinking that everything I'm doing wrong. Then subhanallah, one of my friends was with me, during this time, I was all time crying and crying. And I didn't want to listen anything, anyone. But one of my friends was with me, and she reminded me one of dua. Ya Hayy, Ya Qayyum, برحمتك استغيث وأصلح لي شأني كله ولا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين. Subhanallah, I was doing this dua morning and evening every time, but I didn't remember during that time to do that dua. And I start to do once, twice, and three, and I increased, and somehow I didn't understand. It was amazing moment in my life. Subhanallah, a very heavy burden is picked and moved from my breast, and I felt that it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He instantly received my call, and He responded. And on that moment, I felt nothing that I have lost. And later on, subhanallah, I never felt that I'm in loss. I felt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant me in a very good thing, replace it. I just remember this, and I wanted to share with you. And never forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during distress, under any hardship, because Allah is there. Just you need to call Him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Hijab, you please come and say something.
Assalamu alaikum. Congratulations to all of you. Rabbana taqabbal minna. I would just like to say a few words. First year, I was just studying here. The next year, alhamdulillah, I got this work to teach some foreign students. And what I used to do was I go home, take the cassettes and translate. And it took me like 8 to 10 hours every day. And I was so happy that I'm going through all this work and doing such a big work. And believe me, this year, when again I was going through the whole Quran with you all. So when I reached the 29th para, when it said, Ma'an ghadaqa, I thought I haven't done anything. Because still the thirst that you feel, I still feel this thirst that no, I have to go into more and more depth. And oh Allah, you give me the opportunity to teach it more and more. Because you gave that example, like when you're very thirsty and when you drink water and you finish all the water from the glass and still there are a few drops left, and even those you want to drink. So that is what you will feel, inshallah. You've taken one step and Allah will take 10 steps for you. And never think it's through. No. Now your work will start, inshallah. And one thing else, what I have learned from the Quran is, I used to cry for myself, but no, I've learned to cry for others. And inshallah, may Allah take lots of work of da'wah from you. Jazakallah.
I would like Yasmin to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, it's a day of pleasure and of great joy for all of us. We have two happinesses together. One, to see our Ustaza after such a long, long time, and then seeing you all going through the Quran. We are all very glad, and we give lots of Mubarak to all of you who have completed it, to the students and to the staff, of course, who went through great effort all this time. Just one thing I wanted to share, that Allah gave me an opportunity to have few classes with you all. And honestly, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Really. I'm saying it from my heart. It's not a formality. I mean it. And especially when I used to look at the faces of all of you, I used to feel that the whole world's map is spread in front of me. And I could visualize great rays of hope and of light going to those areas. Where God knows how many people are waiting for all of you to go back to them and spread this light which you have availed with the grace of Allah and with His help. And of course, I see many people around me and I'm so happy, and lots of Mubarak to our Ustaza. And mashallah, I see so much of Sadaqah Jariyah rising from the effort of one person. And I feel that if we all have that drive in us, inshallah, very soon the dreams will come true, that Allah's word will spread all over the world. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
I would like to request Asma to come and read few ayahs from Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون. ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين.
Let's recite name of the surahs together.
الفاتحة البقرة آل عمران النساء المائدة الأنعام الأعراف الأنفال التوبة يونس هود يوسف الرعد إبراهيم الحجر النحل الإسراء الكهف مريم طه الأنبياء الحج المؤمنون النور الفرقان الشعراء النمل والقصص العنكبوت الروم اللقمان السجدة الأحزاب سباء فاطر ياسين الصافات الصاد الزمر المؤمن فصلت الشورى زخرف الدخان الجاثيات الأحقاف محمد الفاتح الحجرات قاف الذاريات الطور النجم والقمر الرحمن الواقع الحديد المجادلة الحشر الممتحنة الصف الجموعة المنافقون التغابن الطلاق التحريم الملك القلم الحاقة المعارج نوح الجن المزمل المدثر القيامة الإنسان المرسلات النبأ النازعات عبس التكوير الانفطار المطففين الانشقاق البروج الطارق الأعلى الغاشية الفجر البلد الشمس الليل الضحى الشرح التين العلق القدر البينة الزلزلة العاديات القارعة التكاثر العصر الهمزات الفيل قريش الماعون الكوثر الكافر النصر والمسد الإخلاص الفلق والآخر الناس سورة القرآن.
Okay, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.